Hope I'm audible to you guys. My screen is visible for you guys. Okay, so now I'm gonna show that using volume how to create the snapshot. Using volume how to create the snapshot. Look at guys, this is my volume. This is my volume. I want to create the snapshot. Okay, actions. Can you guys see this here? Create snapshot is there. I can use this option to create the snapshot. Okay, so before that I have some options. You can see modify volume is there. If I go for modify volume, I can change the volume size. 12 GB is there. If I want 13 GB, 14 GB, 15, 16, 17, 18, any number of GBs I can give. How much maximum? Minimum 1 GB, maximum 16,384 GB. I mean 16 terabytes. IOS means input output per second. Okay, so then throughput MIB per second. Okay, so that is for modifying the volume. Apart from that, I have, so let me show that option. You guys can see here, create snapshot is there. Using this option, I can create a snapshot. Okay, create snapshot. Description I can give. So volume snapshot 12 GB, 12 GB. Okay, so then tag I need to add. Name I'll give name. So snapshot 12G. If I click on create snapshot, snapshot will be created. If I click on create snapshot, snapshot will be created. Okay, then other than that, we have a delete volume there, attach volume also there, lifecycle policy also there. Detach volume nothing but removing this volume from the server. So for example, if I click on detach, that is been detached now. Nothing but this particular volume is in available state now. See, earlier it will be in a in use state. Now it will be in a available state. Okay. Then sometimes this detach option won't work. On such moment, what we can do means we can able to use force detach option. Force detach option can be used. Then manage IO, manage auto enabled IO. Nothing but right now we have only 120. The IOPS will be 3000 IOPS or something will be there. You want to increase that? Then I can able to update as a auto enabled volumes. IO auto enabled. Okay. Then apart from that, we do have options called manage tags. You want to change the tags. Then you want to make it as a fault injection. Tags nothing but you want to add extra tags. For example, env, dev, like this you want to add. Okay, that is a manage tags we are call it as. Then other than that, we have a fault injection is there. Pass volume IO, fault injection series, like this we have a option. Okay, so this option, if I use fault IO, this will take it to pass EBS volume in this one. From where to where you want to pass, we have an option to say that. Okay, but I am not using that. I'm just going back about that. That's a volume. Okay, so here if I can go to snapshots and if I refresh it, here you can see the snapshot. Snapshot is created. See, completed is there. So now I can remove this particular volume. The volume is not required at all. Let me remove this volume. Delete option is enabled. Delete. Even you can delete this volume or else you can attach this volume to any other server also. Both options are available. I'm deleting this. Okay. So now only 2 volumes left out. Then snapshots. Let me show the snapshots now. This is a snapshot which I created. So this is snapshot name, snapshot ID, 12 GB is the size. Description is this one. Storage size, standard storage. Snapshot status completed. When the snapshot was started, this is the time period. Then 100% completed, not encrypted. Okay. One beautiful option about the snapshot will be we can transfer this particular snapshot from one region to another region. For example, I'm in Ohio. Okay, I want to transfer this particular volume to different region. We can transfer that. So our first option, create a volume from the snapshot. So using this particular volume, we can create a snapshot. Let me show how to create the snapshot. 2a, then encrypt not required. Tag I'll add EBS snapshot volume. I'll give the name create volume. Now the volume is created. Okay, I can attach this volume to any of the server. I can attach this volume to any of the server. I'll show that later. So next, select the snapshot, and if at all I want to transfer this snapshot to other location, record create an image from snapshot. Image also we can create. Copy snapshot option is there. Okay, this one, copy snapshot. Where you want to copy, I can select the location here. I want to copy to US East 1. Is that 1? East 1. North version I need to copy. Okay, I can select this. Enable time-based copy. Only 1 day only. 15 minutes, minimum 15 minutes. Then maximum 48 hours. In 15 minutes increments only. Okay, 15 minutes I selected. Then tag I'll give name copy snapshot to North Virginia. Okay, then click on copy snapshot. Now the snapshot will be copied to North Virginia. How to verify? Simple. I can click on this in the new tab. You guys can see here it's reflect North Virginia and the snapshot will be copying. See, United States, North Virginia, and the snapshot is copying. It will take some time. That's the snapshot copy. Then launch a copy duration calculator. So this is another option. We can use this like how much time it will take. Last 1 hour. Any data is copied. What other things are copying? Those we can able to see. Nothing is there. Then apart from that, we do have snapshot settings also. The delete snapshot also there. Many settings will be there. Archive will be there. Archive means this snapshot we can keep it in a archive state. Archive means kind of a zip and tar format we can able to keep. Okay, so once this is done, this copying is completed. Okay, so I can delete this particular snapshot. Delete snapshot. We can type delete option. Delete is, remember guys, volume backup is snapshot. Using snapshot, we can create a volume back. Okay, this particular snapshot is copied to North Virginia. You guys can see. Using this, we can create a server and we can attach it to this particular snapshot to the servers which are available in North Virginia. What is this? I'll delete this snapshot because this will be too costly. What is the purpose of this copy paste and what is the use of this? If you guys think about that, assume that guys, this volume using snapshot I created the volume, right? This eBay snapshot volume is there, right? Like yesterday, I mean the last class what we did, the partition, everything what we did, right? Those entire thing will be stored in this particular snapshot only. So that means the backup will be there. Using this, if I create any new volume and if I attach this volume, the data whatever there in this particular volume, right? Everything will get. Okay, but we can attach and we can try, but not required. I'm deleting this one because this will be incur some cost if I keep in available state. Okay, whatever I created, everything I cleaned up now. That's all about the volumes and snapshots. Then what is this lifecycle manager? Nothing but, so we already said, right? Lifecycle manager is automated method of creating a snapshots and volumes. Remember this particular data lifecycle manager, Amazon data lifecycle manager, ALM, the DLM. This is the mainly used for copying or creating a volumes and snapshots with automated method, not the manual way. Okay, so like this, these are the features we can able to use when you come with the DLM. So I won't create, but I'll show the option how we can able to use the. So you can see create a new policy. create a new policy ಅಥವಾ custom policy, default policy, two options are there. I'll go with the default policy, click on next step. I'll give maybe EBS snapshots, default role, one frequency, 1 days every day, parameters, everything I'll give default. Then if I click on create, it will gonna create. So custom policy you want, custom policy also we can give tag, we can able to use name, Linux public, Linux web server public add. So whichever the servers matching with this particular one, it will going to create, it will going to use. Okay, so description I'll give DLM. This is a custom one. Earlier I used one is default one. Okay, so then tags I'll add name, value I'll give so my DLM. Then when you click on next, schedule I need to give. So here when you want to take the backup, every 1 hour you want to take the backup. So every 1 hour it will take like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, like this it will going to take. How many backups I want to keep? Only I want to keep 5 backups only per day. So per day it will going to create 24. Hourly once means 24 it will create. So but how many wants to keep per day? So only 5 only. That means latest 5 it will keep and remaining everything will be deleted. Okay, kind of n minus 5. Number of snapshots minus, 500 will retain, but remaining will be deleted. Okay, if I click on review policy, then post that if I click on create policy, policy will be created. Remember guys, now I shown how to create the snapshot using manually, but this data lifecycle manager if you use means this will create automatically. Okay, that's a use of lifecycle manager. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about network and security. Any questions, guys? So far, what we discussed about that? Any questions or confusions? And also, I need to show that how to create a volumes. I mean, sir, how to create a Amazon machine image, custom machine image, how to take the backup. That's what I need to show that. Let me show that as well. AMIs. Go to the server. We need to make the server should be running state. Let me take this Linux web server public. I'll keep this server running state. Once it came to running, then I'm gonna show how to create the custom AMI, custom image. So actions, image and templates. Can you guys see create image option is there? Select the server, actions, image and templates. Then we have a create image. Click on create image. Here you can give the name. So for example, my image, the custom AMI, custom AMI. Then description also you can give custom AMI. So then size is 8 GB only. If you want, you can increase that, but I don't want. Let me keep the name for this name. AMI. Then we can able to click on create image. So image creation will take some time generally. So okay, once the image is created, where we can see under the AMIs we can see it's creating, pending state is there. Once it's created, then we can able to use this. Then we can able to use. What is the purpose of this means using this particular image is there, right? Using this image we can create a server. Using this image we can create a server. I'll show that later. In the meantime, we'll look for network security. So security groups. Next one is security groups. What is security group? Nothing but let me go through the theoretical things about the security group, then we'll understand. Okay. This is one we discuss, creating a custom AMI. Okay, AMI is a template that contains the software configurations. AMI is a template that contains the software configurations like operating system, application server, applications. It is many things will be there in that. We have public, private, AMIs will be there. Then AMI provides the information required to launch an instance, which is a virtual server in the cloud. Okay, you specify an AMI, like when you launch an instance, you can launch as many instances from the AMI you need. You can also launch instances from the many different AMIs as you needed. Like an AMI includes the following things. What are the things? A template for the root volume, for instance, example, an OS application server and applications. Launch permissions that control the which AWS accounts can use for AMI to be launched the instance. Then at the last, block device mapping that specifies the volumes to be attached to the instance when you launch it. This many options we can able to use. Okay, next we'll go ahead on the security group side. Security group is like a virtual firewall. Remember, guys, security group acts like a firewall that contains a traffic for one or more instances. Nothing but you create one security group. You attach the security group to multiple servers. Okay, that means this is a single point of truth. Nothing but in this security group, what are the ports you will add? What are the protocols you will add? Only those will work for this. Only those will work for that. Okay, that is the major use case of the this particular security group. That's the major use case of the security group. So security group will have a two bonds are there, two ports are there. One is inbound rule, another one is outbound rule. Or inbound group or outbound group. Okay, maybe you can treat like this. Inbound is like an incoming call to your phone. Outbound is like an outgoing call. Okay. So when you launch an instance, you associate with one or more security groups within this instance. Security group allow you to add rules that allow traffic or from its associated instances. So you can modify the rules of a security group at any time. The new rules are automatically applied to all the instances that are associated with this particular security group. Nothing but you modify any rule in this particular security group. So this will impact to all the resources which are there in the security group. Okay. So all the rules are evaluated from all the SG that are associated with the instance before giving the access to the instances. Okay. Next we have a key pairs. Okay. What is the security group? What is this key pairs? Nothing but key pair is like a kind of password you can treat. Nothing but we can use this functionality to log into the server. It will allow you to log into the server. Okay, but generally whenever you log into the server, right, we require a username or password. Correct. So if suppose the username password, we'll create a server from the cloud, right? You won't set any username password. Then how to get that? How we can log in using keypads? We can log in. Keypads are the login information for your EC2 instances. Amazon EC2 uses public key cryptography to encrypt and decrypt the login information. Like a public key cryptography uses public key to encrypt a piece of data such as password, and the recipient uses private key to decrypt the data. The public key and private key are known as a key pairs. Remember, public key and private keys are known as a key pairs. Remember guys, majorly two key pairs are there. One is public key, another one is private key. Okay, so public key will use to encrypt the data, but a private key will use to decrypt the data. Okay, that means public key will be there in the server, private key will be there in the end users. End users means like you guys, those who are going to log in, right? That one. So, but this public key, private key, both are called as a key pairs. Public key, private key, both are called as a key pairs. To log into your instance, you must create a key pair, specify the name of the key pair, and when you launch in the instance, you could provide the private key when you connect to the instance. Then, if you are working with the Linux instance, the public key content can be found within .sh authorizer keys. This is done at the boot time, so enables you to securely access your instance using the private key instead of a password. So Amazon EC2 does not keep your private key. Make sure, guys, once you download the keeper, if your laptop got changed, your file is deleted, some recycle bin was got corrupted, anything happens. But AWS never keep the backup of the private key. There is no way to recover it. If you lose the private key for an instance store backend instance, you cannot access the instance. You should terminate an instance and you can launch another instance using a new key pair. But if you lose the private key for a EBS backed Linux instance, you can regain access for your instance. Okay. Then we have a placement groups. When you launch a new instance, the EC2 service attempts to place the instance in such a way that all your instances are spread out across underlying hardware to minimize the correlated failures. So you can use placement groups to influence the placement of a group of the interdependent instances to meet the needs of your workload. So you can specify one of the strategies for a placement group. There are three types of placement groups are there, guys. One is cluster, spread, along with last one partition. Cluster, spread, partition. Cluster, spread, and along with partition. These are the three types of placement groups are available in the AWS cloud. Okay. Any questions? So there is no charge for creating a placement group. Make sure there is no special charges for creating a placement group. An instance can be launched in one placement group at that time. It cannot be span multiple placement group. Maybe you can treat like this, guys. Placement group nothing but we used to create a servers, right? Where in AWS cloud we used to create. AWS cloud is a remote for us, right? That means servers will be creating remotely, right? So where the servers will be present, for servers physically present in AWS cloud, but we are accessing them in a remotely. We are accessing them in a remotely. That means, so there is a place will be there in AWS. That place we call it as a rack. How the server will be created, how the server physically server present, that is called as a placement group. Cluster placement group. A cluster placement group is a logical grouping of the instances with a single availability zone, only one availability zone. A cluster placement group can spread period VPC within the same region, and following image shows the instances that are placed into the cluster placement group. So remember, guys, in one availability zone, multiple servers will be kept. Next one, partition. Partition placement groups help to reduce the likelihood correlated hardware failures for your application. So spreads your instances across logical partitions, such as that group of instances in one partition do not share the hardware with groups of instances in different partitions. Means it cannot be shared across. This strategy is typically used by large distributed and duplicated workloads such as Hadoop, Cassandra, Kafka, like this. Okay, one already zone, multiple partitions will create. In one partition, multiple servers are running. Last one, spread. Spread placement group is a group of instances that are each placed on distinct racks, with each rack having its own network and power consumption, power source. It strictly places a small group of instances across a distinct underlying hardware to reduce the correlated failures. Then it is recommended for applications that have small number of critical instances that should kept separate from the instances. Okay. Then like this, look at one availability zone, individual servers. In previous diagrams, what you guys saw, in one particular rack, multiple servers, but here one rack, one server only. Then moving on to the next one, that is elastic IPs. So remember, guys, there are three types of IPs are there. You guys might be aware about that in already. Three types of IPs. For example, first one, public IP. Third one, elastic IP. These are the three types of IPs are there: public IP, private IP, and elastic IP. Then elastic IP address is a static IP for address. One more category, if you think, second category in the static IP, dynamic IP. static IP and dynamic IP. These are two types of IPs are there. Okay, static means permanent, dynamic means keep on changing. An elastic IP address is a static IP for address assigned for cloud computing. You can use EIP in the place of public IPs to have the same number of IP address irrespective of the state of the instance. With an elastic IP address, you can mask the failure of an instance or software by rapidly remapping the address to another instance in your account. Nothing but if suppose you assign the IP address to one server, if suppose server is deleted, okay, no problem. You can create a new server. You can attach this elastic IP to that server. By default, all AWS accounts are limited to 5 elastic IP address per region because public IP for internet addresses are scarce public resources. While your instance is running, you are not charged for one elastic IP address associated with the instance. But you are charged for any additional elastic IP address associated with the instances. Next, last category in this, that is network interfaces. So network interfaces, let me give a brief idea about you guys. Maybe you guys see the CPU, right? Earlier, olden days of CPU, or maybe in your company might be CPU will be there, right? So in the CPU, you guys used to connect a LAN cable. In a CPU, you guys used to connect a LAN cable. There's a port called LAN port will be there, correct? That LAN port for outside is a LAN port, but inside, in a CPU inside, that could become a interface. That is elastic interface we call it as. ಅಥವಾ NIC card we call it as NIC card, network interface card. So an elastic network interface, also referred as a network interface in a logical networking component in a VPC, that represents virtual network card, VNC. You can create a network interface, attach to an instance, detach it from an instance, and attach it to another instance. Like this, multiple detach, attach, detach. Many things you can do. The attributes of a network interface follow it as a attached or detached from an instance and reattached to the another instance. So when you are moving network interface from one instance to another, network traffic is directed to the another instance, the new instance. You cannot detach the primary network interface from an instance. There are two types of interfaces will be there: primary interface, then secondary interface. So you can create and attach additional network interfaces whenever required. Okay, the maximum number of instances, network interfaces that can varies by a network type. That means if the question asked in one server how many network interfaces we can attach. So there is no limit. I mean, there is no. We cannot say that exact count is based upon the type of the instance. We can declare that. Okay, that's about the this category part, guys. The security group, elastic IP placements, key pairs, and network interfaces. Okay, so then in the next class, we will discuss about load balance and auto scaling. But before that, we created the AMI, right? Seems to be AMI is completed already. Let me refresh it. If it is already available, it's available. Then let me show that how to create an instance using this particular AMI. Okay, look at guys, launch instance from AMI is there. Click on launch. I'll give AMI. Then everything is already selected. Keeper you can choose. Then edit. I can choose my dev VPC, public subnet, autos and public IP enable. Security group, I can choose an existing security group what we created. My custom VPCSG, all good. Scripts also might be there. Script is not there. Okay, no worries. Click on launch instance. Now we can see after the server is created, right? In this server, whether last class we hosted a website, correct? Website is there or not, we need to verify. Okay. We'll show that website is there or not in this. When you go to the browser and if I paste the IP address, if website is there means we can get the website. Yeah, see, look at guys, AMI is a new website name, right? New server name, right? From that website, I'm hosted the web page. I can see the web page. See, but directly not hosted in this server. Where I hosted? In different server I hosted, main server. From there I took the backup, right? Backup will contain in everything. Entire software stack will be there in the backup. Clear? I'm gonna terminate this server. the server also and along with that particular AMI also. How to terminate? Here only instance state, terminate instance, terminate. Then AMI, if I talk about actions, if you see copy AMI. AMI also can be copied to different region. Edit permission. You want to make this particular AMI right now. Currently, it's a private. If at all you want to make, you can make it as public also. Okay, that option also there. And you can share this particular one with any other account. There are plenty of accounts are there. Right? Any account you can able to share this one. That option also we have. Then apart from that, we have manage tags, spot instances, deregister AMI. Deregister AMI nothing but deleting the AMI. Okay. Then change description. You can change register instance to backend AMI, disable AMI like this. I'm deregistering that. It will delete. But remember, this will also create snapshot also. Look at snapshot is created from the AMI. You deleted the AMI now, but you want the AMI back. You can use this image snapshot to create the AMI. Look at create a volume from snapshot, create an image from snapshot also there. But I don't want. I'm deleting the snapshot as well. Delete. Okay. Any questions, guys? So we concluded this many steps. We left with the load balancer and auto scaling. That will conclude in the next class. This load balancing and auto scaling, if we complete, this is the very important concepts. Then EC2 will complete. Okay. So only we created one server only. There's a public server only we created, guys. Here we need to create a private server also. In the next class, I'm gonna show how to create the private server, how to connect Linux server inside one Linux server, how to create another Linux server, or how to log into another Linux server. I'll show it in the next class. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to ask the questions. If no questions, then we'll wind up here. We'll catch up in the next class. Okay. Cool. That. Thank you so much.